The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. Well, hello, guys. How are you doing today, Ruben and Bruce?
I'm doing well, I think.
Good.
I'm alive. Nobody died. Nobody's pregnant.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm alive. Supposed to be getting to bad weather probably tomorrow, so hopefully it won't be too bad. No tornadoes or whatever. But let's see who's in the chat right now. Let's see. Hello, Robert.
So much winning going on right now. Hey, baby girl.
What?
There's so much winning going on right now.
Yeah, we got some good stuff going on. Oh, hi. Hi, guys. Hi, Mike. Thank you for joining. And I said hello to everybody in the chat. So we're getting started. But yeah, we've had a really busy week. A lot of good things and a few funny things. So the first thing I wanted to present was, I think everybody saw Bezos' ship, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
The gigantic dildo.
Yeah, the giant wiener in the sky that reminded me of that movie with
we make a lot of noise. We shake it a bit. We tell them, oh my God, look,
like a penis
your charts.
From one of the British movies. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I remember it was a comedy. But this was funny, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This, as we could tell by looking at it, we know that it was a plant or a prop, basically, because when it comes back down to Earth, the heat would make it dirty and, heated up, and it wouldn't look so perfect, right? So this little thing was a gotcha moment.
Well, not necessarily.
I know. Well, watch this. The door opens before they even come over to open it because this is a prop.
No, that's not what happened. That's a misnomer.
Yeah. Just watch.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to watch the hatch door open from the inside. The lady runs over there real quick, says, no, shuts the door back, tries to stand in front of it.
And then he acts like he's unlock it.
Right. No, and again, people are making are taking it out of context. So what really happened is, the first off, they didn't go to space. They just did 11 minutes up in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah, like my picture in the background, like I said.
Yeah, hence the fact that they wouldn't have re-entry burns because they never left space. They never went to space, so there is no re-entry. Okay, that's number one.
Well, but why the door open?
Okay, number one, because again, Jeff Bezos himself wanted to do it, but then in order for this guy who's just about as manly as Bill Gates is, even though Jeff Bezos has muscles, but it's just show. It's all bullshit.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he does. Muscles. It's all bullshit. But here, let me finish. But let me finish what I'm saying. So what happens is somebody opened it
from the inside first.
Somebody have to go. I could have to go. Bye. No, someone. No, they didn't open it from the inside. Someone opened it before. So then he ceremonially did it so that he on camera it wouldn't fuck up. But they fucked up by opening it before.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That's what I'm saying, but still, whatever it is, this was a photo op. This wasn't them really opening it.
Correct. It wasn't when they did it. But again, the irony is, if you know Iwo Jima, the flag that everyone thinks of, that's actually the second attempt. The first attempt fell down.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the stuff's photo ops done. What do you have there, Bruce? What are you showing?
Just a miniature of sunken. You got a shark jaw, broken pillar, barrel, some other ruins here. I'd like to say thank you to Janet and Dr. Rubin tonight for being here with me. I feel like my esteemed colleagues and I are here to help interpret the truth and tell you how to think about what happened this week. Because that video that you just showed there, Janet, that absolutely is completely the truth. They never had opened that door before that moment when that man had ran over there. Absolutely not. Dr. Rubin, why are you laughing? Stop laughing, Dr. Rubin.
Funny as hell when I first saw it, because I'm like, what a piece,
I mean, all these astronauts, just like me and Dr. Rubin, are gynecologists.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But there was a few things like that I wanted to share. This is kind of funny because, you got all these protests going on, right? We hate Elon. We hate Trump. We hate that they're stopping Doge, wasting our money. It's like a bunch of dumbasses. And so I thought this was hilarious because this is on TikTok. And, I'm on TikTok too. I've been on TikTok for quite a while, but it says this guy actually went on TV and admitted his company pays people to protest because they can't actually get enough people to turn up. So I wanted to share this. It's kind of funny because
I mean, do you really want the starvation diet that Marxism allows, Janet?
Do what?
Do you really want the starvation diet that Marxism promotes and allows?
No.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's funny because so many people are finally realizing that it's all been fake. Beyonce going in and touting for Harris and Biden and all this stuff. They were all paid to be there. None of them gave a shit about who our president was and whether or not they helped the veterans or the homeless or anything. They don't give a shit about any of us. And if we don't fight for our country, they're not gonna. Okay, they don't give a shit. All they care about is their next blowjob or facelift or butt tuck or whatever it is.
I don't want you telling people the truth. I want you to tell people live, just like BBF tells everybody live, just like ABC and MSNBC tell people live. I love the fact that we make people feel good, even though we're pissing down their leg and saying it's a rainstorm.
Yeah, but this is funny. Just watch this guy. This is hilarious.
I don't know how you sleep at night. I would not do your job. I do not like it. So people can literally call your company and get a bunch of paid actors, if you will, to stand up there, hold signs, and scream on the street corner. Because that's what your company does.
It's number one, it's not actors. We're providing activists who are truly engaged with the cause, right?
But are they? I just showed you a video of a guy going, I don't even know why I'm here. They got signs and they got sheets and they said, go say this and talk to cameras and hold signs.
It's challenging for them to get sufficient turnout to a lot of these events, compensating people, just like Dan, you're compensated for hosting your program. These are your real views on this program, but you're compensated.
Damn, that's a stretch. That's a fucking stretch.
So I love the fact that I can go on the street corner and say whatever the hell I want, a grievance against my government, or call my neighbor or whatever I want, because that's America. But I don't like that companies try to stage it all and hire people and set it up. It should be organic. The American people should want to come out, get on their soapbox. My show, I'm talking. They should come out and want to gather together and say, here's the cause I'm sticking up for. But you see, guys like you and the bureaucrats and the folks in D.C. love stirring up the pot. between us Americans. And so you pay people to do this, and you make a scene look bigger than it really is.
But see that,
make an issue bigger.
Everything he's saying is true.
Right.
And what's sad is you get young people like the young man that tried to kill Trump, other people that are blowing up cars in parking lots because they hate Tesla. Because
cars would explode naturally.
Get people riled up and get them to want to do things that they shouldn't be doing, and it's not even real. It's all propaganda. It's all a show. It's not even for a reality. These people have no idea what they're protesting. And what's gonna be really sad is one day somebody shows up with a gun at one of these protests and shoots somebody because they get in a fight or stabs them or does something worse. And it's all going to be for nothing because this is all fake. Yeah. Just like I said, way back during COVID when they were doing the parking lots and stuff filled with emergency people at the emergency room and all this different stuff. And some of our friends on YouTube went to the emergency rooms and were like, there's nobody here, because it was all fake. And I was telling people, get on Craigslist and go through and look for crisis actors and stuff like that. And job laying on a gurney or whatever you need to do and get paid $100 to act like you're in a crisis. And when you're not, because it's all fake. It's all fake. And most of it is. Now, I'm not saying they're all full of crap, because there are people out there on both sides that have the right to go out on the corner and say what they believe, preach or do whatever. And they should have the right to do that as long as it's not impeding on other people or hurting other people. They should be able to do that. But this kind of stuff, it needs to be brought out so young people realize that those people at your campus probably don't even go to your school. You know what I mean?
You're just advocating for the wrong thing. You need to be on the right side of history, Janet.
Yeah, I know I do, but I'm not. So, but the thing is, I just wanted to share that with you. And I got a couple more little things. Sorry, I got a little tickle in the back of my throat. For my allergies are just terrible. So maybe I get some rain. It will be pretty nice. But this next one, let's see here. I think this is it.
Janet doesn't eat enough honey.
Oh, yeah. This one really pissed me off when I saw it. But it's important that we share this stuff so people know this is really happening. This is a girl. This is a dad. And this is a girl getting in a fight at school. She's defending herself. She's being attacked. And the father is speaking out about what happened to his daughter because she got suspended for 3 days when all she did was defend herself. And watch this video. It's pathetic. But thank God somebody put it on their phone because that's the only way to prove what happened to her in the first place. It was, her word against their word.
I want that to happen to anybody else's daughter. That video is so hard to watch. I can't even watch it anymore. But there shouldn't be that much confusion on a situation like this. That is a plain as day an assault of a boy on a girl. When did that change to be okay?
What's up, bro?
Play the start of it again. I didn't see the.
Okay, just the beginning of it, and then because I want you to see adults. What the adults do.
No. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. No.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the beginning again and watch.
I want that to happen to anybody else's daughter. That video is so hard to watch. I can't even watch it anymore.
It looks like she goes after him.
But see?
I'm not saying it's right, but she shouldn't have gone after him.
Yeah, but
I don't support what he's doing.
I know, but still, the fact that you can't even go to school anymore and have an adult protect you at school. Did you see? He was choking her out while she was laying on the ground, and he just stood there and did nothing.
Atypical fight results from boy versus girl. But I'm just a little upset that I mean, she should not. It looked like she moved into him to be the aggressor. I don't agree with that.
Well,
Like,
he hit her. He hit her in the face. He punched her in the face, and she defended herself. That's what I saw.
Hey, Shadowhawk. Hey, Devilfly.
Oh, hell,
I'm not probably in the right on this either, but I'm just saying that, like,
yeah, she probably shouldn't have. But guess what? If some guy hit me in the face when I was in high school, I'm going to defend myself.
You're right.
Back. Period. I don't care if it's a guy or
do it.
No, back up, get recovery, and
came
get
in there that did nothing and just stood there while she's being choked out on the floor.
Dude outweighed her by 40 fucking pounds.
But the thing is, they did nothing, and I'd sue that school for the teacher, not because of the students. Students are going to fight, and he should be reprimanded, and so should she for fighting. But she was basically defending herself, but he was choking her out, and the teacher did nothing.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I know. I know that, but that is what pissed me off about that. But okay, so now I'm going to share this next thing, which I thought was pretty freaking awesome. So watch this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is pretty deep. I said, what the actual F just happened? Trump says your life will be in danger and chaos breaks out. Did you guys see this?
No.
Now watch it to the end because I don't know what happened over here, but something happened and we'll probably hear about it later. But I just want you to make sure it's turned up and stuff. Watch this video.
Proceed, it's like really very good. But
with
Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon, and if they have a nuclear weapon, you'll all be very unhappy. You'll all be very unhappy.
Have you spoken
your
with
life,
Xi?
your
Who
life,
is leading
your
those
life
trade
will be in
talks?
great danger.
Mr.
President. Yeah.
Something happened. I just don't know what it was.
Wasn't this a swearing in situation?
I don't
They're
think
swearing
so.
in somebody.
Yeah, basically what happened is that the little kid had a respiratory distress issue, and
That's
Dr.
what I
Oz
thought.
said, yeah.
It had to be a medical emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary. The thing is, have you guys heard anything about this on the news?
Yeah.
Just saw the video, and then what
No,
he
just
informed me
now.
of.
Saw this here, but have you seen it before this or after the?
I saw it a little bit earlier today, but I didn't understand what the reason for that.
Okay, because see, I haven't been able to find
Cleared it.
anything. So I had no idea what happened to that girl. I didn't know if somebody slapped her or what happened. So I had no idea. But I hope she's okay, whoever she is. And this woman's reaction is what made me go, oh my God, something bad happened to somebody. So I don't know what happened, but it was scary. I just wanted to know if you guys knew anything about it because I hadn't seen it.
Right. That's what
Until right before when I was setting all this up. And it came across my timeline. So I was like, holy shit, what happened to this girl? But yeah, it was scary. So hopefully he's all right. But here's the other one. This was interesting. So here we go. Have you seen this video?
Yes. It basically, the government-funded NGOs are a way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government, but are somehow made legal if it's sent to a so-called nonprofit. But these nonprofits are then used to, people cash out these nonprofits. They become very wealthy through nonprofits. They pay themselves enormous sums through these nonprofits.
It's so insane that that's been going on for so long.
It's a gigantic scam, like one of the biggest, maybe the biggest scam ever.
And how many NGOs?
I think there's a total number of NGOs, probably millions, but in terms of large NGOs, tens of thousands. I mean, it's actually it's kind of a hack to the system where someone can get an NGO stood up for a fairly small amount of money. Like George Soros was really good at this. Like George Soros is like a system hacker. Like he figured out how to hack the system. He's a genius at arbitrage. I mean, these days he's pretty old, but a genius at arbitrage. So he figured out that you could leverage a small amount of money to create a nonprofit, then lobby the politician to send a ton of money to that nonprofit, so you can take what might be, a $10 million donation to a nonprofit to create a nonprofit and leverage that into $1 billion NGO. A nonprofit is a weird word. It's just a non-governmental organization. And then the government continues to fund that every year. And it'll have a nice sounding name, like the Institute for Peace or something like that. But really, it's a graft machine.
And what are the requirements with that money? What do they have to do?
Just really no requirements at all.
So they just get grants and the government just assumes that they're doing good work.
Remember
back, people know that they're not doing good work.
No,
it's a giant graft machine.
You guys remember the infomercial from the 1980s where there was a guy jumping around on stage and he had a suit with either question marks or dollar bills all over his suit, and he was all excited. I can show you guys the secret to getting rich. All you got to do is write these grants. Here's the whole book. I'm going to give it to you for free. You pay for shipping and handling. And all you got to do is just write the information and just do as I say. Don't make money. And he was showing you how to write grants, basically. You went and sent these grants into the government, and you would get either rejection letters or, yes, you can write this grant, and we give you money for this letter. And ever since then, about maybe 2010, the book disappeared. His commercial's been off the TV for over 20 years, but he was showing the common man how to do this. Somebody took really good notes. You guys remember that? I sure do.
I remember seeing commercials like that. He had a green suit on and a hat like the Riddler.
Yeah, but what's so interesting here is when he's speaking about what's going on, it is the unknown truth we all know about. Well, the perfect example that we all should know is like when you hear about a Monet or a art or any auction, this sold for $2 million, whatever. That's all laundering. It's all laundering. Anything like that, anything that is an object, basically it's given value. And that boils down to what we're dealing with the fiat, petrodollar, which is, the US dollar, which is based on nothing. We just believe, we as a humanity say, this is our dollar. But, who's the best is, John Carpenter and They Live. When that poignant scene, when the guy had the dollar, and then you put the glasses on and it says, this is your God. That was one of the most profound moments in film history that tells you what you're going on here. But then that goes to the whole idea. And what we're all talking about, every story we've brought up so far, put on the glasses, see the reality, be it going into space and not going to space, be it, you're someone's Trump this and that. This is everything is built for a distraction.
It's like
and that's what yeah.
Or you unplug yourself.
Right. But that's the thing. Here's where we have to have that philosophical discussion with ourselves as a society. So arbitrage is what Elon Musk was saying that Soros does. So he is trying to make a profit, but his profit motivation hurts humanity. Dave Chappelle on SNL, right after Trump won the first time, said that Trump worked the system. If you don't like it, change it. Trump said, if you don't like the law, if I'm following the law, why aren't you paying the same amount of taxes? Well, I'm following the law. Change the law then. And it's true. He's following the law. And again, he was being honest because other people said, like Obama or Hillary would say, it's outrageous. You shouldn't do that. It's the law. I'm going to follow the law because that's the whole idea. He's being honest. And before all the 2016 bullshit with Trump, they thought of him as like the master. Every Hollywood business, this and that. We want to know him. We want to do this. We want to work with him, and all those stories about what he did. So, do you want to be a Soros? Or do you want to be a Trump? Do you want to be Elon Musk, or do you want to be Bill Gates? You know who we do to. But the whole system is rigged, where you have like why the fuck do they pay these athletes all this money? Why do they pay the actor all this money? Why do they pay actors? We're going back to what your story is, crisis actors. These people that are out there protesting, They just want the money and they want the influence. Because I stood against the fascism. I stood up for democracy, and they have no idea what they're standing up for, because our system has been, coerced. We were told, let your kids, how'd you say it? In loco parente is what a teacher is. But now we have loco parentes as teachers. So then we have to stop that shit.
Yep.
It's a shit show. We have to stop it. And this is a perfect example.
A lot of parents' eyes were open during the COVID when they chose to pull their kids out of school and homeschool.
Right.
They took control back from the teachers, away from the teachers, and put it back into their home to make sure their kids were getting the information they thought was fit for them to get.
Correct.
And it's too bad we can't do that when it comes to technical college or, higher learning, because that's where it seems like they put the icing on top of the cake to make sure that they all hate mom and dad, even though mom and dad just gave birth to them and raised them, took care of them. And then now they hate their parents and they hate everything their parents stand for, all because of the system that we sent them to and paid for.
I got to be thankful for the stupid colleges. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without the colleges, we wouldn't have gotten Elon Musk. Because his kid went off the reservation, got trans, and had a bunch of stupid liberal talking points when he came home to see Papa and Mama. And,
I don't think that was just the kid. I think that had a lot to do with the mother.
Well, maybe it had something to do with mom, but like the kid, when the kid came back with instead of a dangler, he had an axe wound.
Yeah, but it wasn't a grown kid. This was a kid still.
Yeah.
Right.
But I gotta say, I gotta be thankful for them being so confident to play their hand like that, because if they didn't do it, we wouldn't have gotten Musk.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of it's played out the way I guess it had to for a lot of people, because you and I, all three of us, have been talking about this shit for 5 years, basically, all this bullshit. And it's finally where more people are starting to actually see it for themselves and going, geez, I didn't realize how bad it was. But to have people stand up there and bitch and moan because Doge is finding all this corruption, and they're like, I don't want them to stop spending our money. It's like,
the government alone. Leave the fraudsters alone.
I know, it's just sad. It's sad that those are real people. But here's another. This is a little thing with Kid Rock, because remember, Kid Rock is the one that got what's his name, Moyer? Is that his name?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher went to the White House and had dinner because Kid Rock set it all up, because he wanted his friend Bill Maher to see Trump away from the limelight, away on his own, to be himself. And he wanted him to see him the way he sees him. Right. So he set this up. And then after all the stuff that came out afterward, this is what Kid Rock made himself. He made this video because he was upset about the way things are coming out and how it was handled afterward. So I want you guys to see this.
Good morning. There's something that's been weighing on my mind concerning this dinner with Bill Maher and President Trump, myself and Dana White. It's bothering the hell out of me, but it's really no shocker. I've always tried to be reasonable and get my news from different sources, not just Fox, although I love Fox News. I've TiVo'd the ABC and NBC World News Tonight. I watch a lot of the Sunday news programs. But I mean, what the fuck? This dinner, I stuck my neck out to make this dinner happen. There was a chance it could go really bad, and that I might lose the president's trust, over lining this thing up. Thank God it turned out so good. I think it's, like most people, it's such a positive thing for this country, and a message of, having some civility between reasonable people who disagree. Mm-hmm. That was proven. But what the fuck? The mainstream media MSM, I've seen zero on NBC, ABC, CBS. I don't think I've seen anything on CNN. You know, I saw something that the Washington Post is trying to, of course, change the narrative that, you know, that it was a bad thing or that Bill Maher got played or something. I mean, what the fuck? This is something, no matter what your politics are, it should be a positive thing for our country. And I could care less about the accolades. They don't have to mention my name. I could give a shit. But there's no doubt that this is something positive for our country. And none of these motherfuckers can say anything about it. That tells you everything you need to know about these people. They're fucking retarded. I mean, I'm done with them. I'm not in this cancel culture, boycott bullshit. You do what you want, but until there's some changes at these places at the highest levels, people in news organizations, and fuck you anchors too, who report this news, because you're nothing but fucking puppets. You sit there and read off your prompter or call yourself a journalistic reporter, this, that, and the other. You have no fucking backbone. You know, most of you know this is a positive thing that really helps our country out, but I guess it paints President Trump in some sort of good light. So you're like, no, we're not going to report on it. And I mean, that goes, I haven't even seen anything on the local news here in Nashville where I live. And I can only assume that comes from the top. So fuck you motherfuckers sitting up in your high offices making these fucking decisions that do nothing but hurt and divide our country. In my book, you motherfuckers are public enemy number one. God. So there. I got it off my chest. And I think I'm 1,000% right on this. So mainstream media, I'm going to refer back to a very old song of mine, Devil Without a Cause. When I say, fuck all you hoes. Have a great day.
I just love
He's not
him.
wrong.
No,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong, but that's the whole thing. The veil of the deep state is at stake. Everything's coming apart.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the media. Well, yeah, they hate them. They hate Americans. They want. They covet America.
Mm-hmm.
They want. Again, that is the best word to use. They covet America. They want it. They want to consume it. They want to consume us, and that's why we have to say no. We're not going to consume it, and that's the whole idea. We cannot be consumers anymore. And it's like, again, like every movie dribble comes out, every new food product comes out. We want to have real food, this and that. We don't want to consume. We want to enjoy. We want to be at one with nature, and people are doing that now, and that movement is dangerous. They had the whole. I saw an article about processed foods that there's no link to any cancer, all that stuff, and then they did 91% of blah 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 believe this, and then you did the research. All the people are backed by like all big food groups, and going, it's all act. Even I get it. Even like when someone says like the SAVE Act or ADA and all that stuff, it's all acronym. It's all for fluff and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing anything. It is a complete and utter joke. They did it to us. They told women that you need to be out of the house. You need to do this. And then you're not making enough money and this and that. And they're just plugging holes. Black mothers, get rid of your baby daddies, get them out of your house. Oh, go to Canada, do this, go to college, do this, that. Don't get a trade. Go run up debt. It's again, they're constantly doing this. You turn TV on, and every fucking commercial is, have you asked your doctor about blah blah blah? Wait, what the fuck? Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. It is. What do you want? What do you need? A roof over your head, food in your belly, and just to do the things you want to do. But we can't. But who is actually doing the things you want to do? I know I'm doing that now. I'm dealing with family issues right now, but the thing is that here, how'd you say it? In January, I had nothing. February, the money coming in, and now March, you have these crises come up, and I tell my brothers, I'm here for you. What do you need? And I'm doing the help. and I'm willingly giving away what I have waited to have for my own safety, not even have a shirt off my back. I would still do that for my brother. I would still do that. I don't care if I am fucking on the ground, which I am. Literally, I'm still disabled. But what do you need, brother? What do you need? Get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing. We have to go back to that mentality. And right now with the Carmelo Anthony bullshit, with the whole Austin Metcalf thing, they want conflict. They want division. They want a shit show. They want a literal shit show. Not fun. They want someone to die, and they want to blame Trump. They want to blame everybody. They want to blame each other. And this fighting is done. It has to stop. So we have to put it.
It's like the whole thing with the fake people, right?
But CNN, you know who really took the biggest L this week was CNN. In those press conferences, everything they've done, they fucked it up, and there are so many people that are now pissed off about the Austin Metcalf, the Carmelo Anthony, his new spokesman's speech. It's pissing everybody off. So
the new spokesman is not exactly the guy you want speaking for your family. I don't know why they hired him, but
because he's through Farrakhan.
I'm pretty sure that
another race grifter and shit like that. You know.
Well, I'm pretty certain that Kyle Rittenhouse is going to go after him.
Went to that family and said, "Hey, we're going to help you. You know,
Right.
we're gonna send you some people. Let them help you write what you're going to say. Don't speak to anybody unless we tell you what to say. Blah blah blah." And they're just doing it because they don't either know how to handle all the stuff, and for some, what's really sad is that when all the hoopla dies down and they go to court and they just have the evidence in there, and if they do a real system where they have a real jury, you know, that care about the truth or whatever, he's going to go to prison. Okay.
Right.
And the sad truth is this family's going to be let down and upset because they're being lied to by whoever's giving them all this information, this bad information, to make bad decisions.
Yeah, but I don't blame the family. Sorry.
I'm not blaming.
No. I do blame the family.
Well, I do. I blame the kid for doing what he did. He shouldn't have took a knife in the first place. And the whole thing's a mess. And the fact that he's got, propaganda people using this to try to start big battles in the street over race,
Right.
And that's basically what they're trying to use. Every single thing that happens like this, with a white and a black person, or a black person and a Hispanic person, or an Asian person and a black person, they're going to try to exploit it to the best of their ability in every single city and try to get people pissed off because they think that you and I are all us three basically are Nazis and we're all racist, and that we'll go out and kill people because we believe that black people don't belong on our planet, which is stupid. And I have tons of friends that are black, and I have Hispanic friends. I have friends of all races. I don't care what your race is, but I do care what your character is. And the way you treat me is how I treat you.
Exactly.
See what I mean? And that's what they don't like. That's why they hate me, because I am not a puppet to them. I can't be played. And more young Black, Hispanic, Asian, and white kids are learning that that's a bullshit, and they're not falling for it. So they're trying to use everything that they have at their availability to try to turn as many young people to believe that all of us older people, that have one foot in the grave and the other one slipping, that we all just want everybody to die, that we hate anyone if they don't look like us. That type of bullshit.
It's not they gotta look like us, but if you think like a communist, I'm okay for you stepping in the wood chipper.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, and I don't. Immutable characteristics we can't change. Oh no, I came out black. Oh no, I'm completely white, like a fucking Irishman. I'm going to be a roper and sunbird. Those things you can't control. But whenever you come out and you're like, you know what, Saul Alinsky was right. Hey, man, please self-delete.
I was always told growing up, well, I'm Mexican. You're Mexican. You're Mexican. No, I'm an American citizen. Okay. no, you're Mexican, whatever. Okay, and then the whole Mexican American thing, and they're going, like Hispanic, whatever. And it's just like, I don't care. I'm a human being. Leave me alone. I'm just sick and tired of this shit. It is. It's just labels upon labels upon labels. What is the benefit going to be? Shit. But it is what it is. But yeah,
Well,
everyone, we want to have authenticity nowadays.
Well, the thing is that I just wish more people would sit back and look at everything. Just look at it and then start on their own, start making decisions based on facts.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either true or it isn't. I mean, it's that simple, but people are trying to make it so complicated and so hard to make decisions. When to me, it's as plain as the nose on your face. It's really easy. If somebody comes up and says, here, take this knife over there and stab that person. Are you going to go do it? No. A normal person that cares about life isn't going to do it, but some nut job that thinks they're going to get famous might go do it. And that's what's sad. And that's why this propaganda, by using, like I said, fake people to go incite people to go and say, oh, like, what was her name? Darn it, Waters or something. And she was
Maxine Waters.
Yeah, Maxine Waters. And she said, go in the restaurants and bother them. Don't let them sit and eat their meals. Do this and do that. And now they're out there blowing up cars and scratching and keying cars. They're doing all kinds of stupid shit. And sooner or later, it's going to end up hurting somebody. And we just had another kid, for whatever reason, we don't know yet, in Florida that went and shot at a campus and killed two kids. So I'm just saying it's sad because the young people that were damaged for whatever reason, whether their parent tried to make them transgender or their parent told them that they hate them because they're gay or whatever the problems are, is that we're pushing these kids to cause them to hate their lives and hate everyone around them. So they're just going out and they're self-deleting themselves, or they're taking other people out. And it's sad that we're in this position in the most powerful country in the world. We've taken God out of our schools, we've taken God out of our homes, we've taken everything pretty much good that a kid had to fall back on. They're told their parents hate them, their parents will never accept them, their parents are useless, and they'll never achieve anything because we're the ones that really care about you. Right, that kind of shit. So a kid doesn't feel, they just don't know what they're supposed to do and what decisions they're supposed to make, unless it's something that's going to make them instantly famous because they want to be on TikTok or some other dumb app. So if we don't stand up and fight for our kids, who's going to?
Yeah, true. So Janet, I better be going. I'm a little tired, but I did want to basically share my my nephew's thing, and then talk about it a little very briefly before I go. And then,
do you have the link for that? And you can
I sent it to you in private. I put it in the private right now.
I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
Yeah, since basically everybody, I'm going to be going. Basically, I've been in and out basically for the last few months. What's been going on here is that my little nephew, he's like 8 years old, has blood cancer, leukemia. It's pretty bad. Basically what happened that he was diagnosed. We're dual citizens in Mexico and the United States. So he's down in Monterrey, and then they didn't work. 2 rounds didn't work. Went to Edinburgh, a round didn't work. They'll do one more round. If it doesn't work, the family will have to be moving to Houston because they're in a small town, Laredo. Houston is a much bigger city, and my brother will have to uproot. So lots going on. So please keep Gabriel Haynes in your prayers. There's links there. It's rough, and I just had a conversation today with my other brother. I'm the oldest. There's Chuck Paul's the baby, and then there's my sister. But we talked today about we had what's going to happen. It's rough. But Gabriel is slightly too young to understand what's going on here, but he's doing really well, but he's fighting. He's a fighter. The little guy's a fighter, but it just is a lot. But and that's what I'm saying. In this world, someone could, you're sitting in the wrong chair, and if you tell someone to move, they stab you. But it's like a little kid that's innocent, can have a cancer. It's like crazy. It's a crazy world. Things go right or go wrong, but you have to stay strong. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that it's been rough. I've been trying to figure it out too, because again, I want to go down there and help. And like I said, I have nothing on my. Like I said, I have the shirt off my back against my baby brother. Because again, I remember having him come home, babysitting him at 9 years old. It's crazy. Yeah, and that's the thing. And then they, and of course, I'll say the last thing I said. That yes, they both got what several times because again, my brother was a teacher, and they had to get it. And the kid had to go to school, and down there in Texas, they all complied. So it's a sad story. So we know what happened. But anyway, I'll let you guys go, and I'm going to see what's going on here. But I keep you in prayers, and then hopefully that again, I say if they move to Houston and he gets cured, then the family will turn around. There's a reason for it all. So anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you next week with good news, but keep you in prayers. And again, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless you.
Take care, Ruben. God bless you, man.
Bye.
See you later. Oh, he's so sweet. Yeah, Ruben. I've known Ruben for quite a long time, and he's just a wonderful person. I've never seen him ever be a quitter. He's one of the toughest people I know. He's always fighting for something, or for himself or someone else. So he's just a good person. But yeah, I just want everybody to keep him in your prayers and his family. Hopefully, something good will happen. We'll find out in the next week or so. But yeah, here's the other article or video I wanted to share. I know everybody knows who this is. It says that unredacted lawsuit documents reveal that Joe Biden was the one colluding with Russia, secretly creating a backdoor for Russia's oil. So I thought this was pretty interesting because I've watched all the stuff as much as I could with him and his little media network that he had, and him going to jail. Because they handcuffed him and paraded him through and took pictures and called him a criminal and all that stuff. So he went through the whole thing, and he went to jail, and he's out, and he's still chugging along and trying to share truth. But here we go.
John, you've got a big breaking story, sir. What do you got for us this morning?
Yeah, listen, so new documents that we obtained first through a lawsuit and then through James Comer's subcommittee, because our lawsuit documents were highly redacted. James Comer was able to get the unredacted version. They show that Joe Biden, while publicly in 2014 vowing to punish Russia for its first invasion of Ukraine, actually secretly worked behind the scenes to open a backdoor so that Moscow's oil and gas could go into Ukraine after the invasion of Ukraine. Think about that. They're out there in public saying, sanction them, punish them. They're terrible guys. But behind the scenes, they actually were arranging for Russian gas to flow back into Ukraine right after the invasion. Now, there's a couple of reasons for it. Perhaps the most significant reason is that the company, Burisma, the one that Hunter Biden worked for, did not have enough gas supply to heat the country in the upcoming winter of 2014, 2015. So Joe Biden goes to bat, and it actually is very beneficial to his son in Burisma. These documents were all conducted, all these negotiations, these secret negotiations, on Joe Biden's private pseudonym email account. Think about that. He's negotiating with Russia. He's talking to Germany, and the documents are kept off the official books. They're on his private email, probably because they were beneficial to Hunter Biden's company. But those documents just broke. The story's up at Just the News, and it's another example of Democrats being against Russia until, well, they're for it. We saw it with Bill Clinton in the $500,000 speech. We saw it with Skokovo, and now we see it again. And a decade too late, perhaps, we're now seeing once again Democrats on both sides of the Russia equation.
Okay, that is very interesting. For one, we all remember what happened when the laptop was found. And who took it? The FBI. And they had it for almost 4 years. And they constantly said it was Russia collusion. It was fake. It wasn't really his laptop. And then what happened at the very, very end of Biden's administration? Hunter went to court about that gun charge. That was the one thing. They just something measly that they charged him with, because there was hundreds of felonies on that laptop, right? Well, why did they only charge him with a little bitty thing? And remember, I showed it on this show the whole thing with when those two guys went and interviewed people outside the courthouse while he was going to trial over the gun thing. And they had all the documents and stuff from all the stuff that they had taken off of the laptop. The fact that that laptop was used in court against Hunter Biden now makes it proof that it really was his laptop all along, and that all of that bullshit was all fake propaganda being thrown out there by the Biden administration to drag it out to where nobody would believe it, that it was all fake. You know, all the videos that were coming out, leaked footage and leaked stuff of Hunter Biden smoking a crack pipe in the bathtub and snorting coke off hookers' butts and shit like that. That was all real shit. It was all real. But the whole thing about the prostitute that Trump pee-peed on, the pee-pee dossier, and all that was proven. It was all fake, and it was paid for by the Hillary Clinton's campaign, right? That's all documented now. That's all real evidence has been documented to prove that it was lies. It was all paid for propaganda by the Democrats. Okay. And it's slowly coming out. And we're going to be talking about that big release that came out today later on in the show. But the thing is that little by little, we all of us, the ones that didn't believe it and thought it was bullshit, because I had friends sending me videos that were coming off the laptop saying, look at this shit. You know, we were watching it. We were like, holy shit, this guy's a freaking psycho. I can see why he had to get all his teeth veneers and all that, because his teeth were falling out and everything, because he was a meth addict, basically. He was smoking crack all the time. He was picking up hookers, all paid for by us. And this whole Burisma thing. Remember the video that came out and it had Biden chewing out some guy saying, if Obama's not here, I'm here. And if you don't get rid of that public defender or whatever, prosecutor, you ain't getting no money. Remember that? Yep. That came out and everybody's like, that's not true. That's lies. That's not true. And it was real. All of it was real. But Facebook wouldn't let you say anything. YouTube wouldn't let you say anything. Google wouldn't let you say anything, because if you go to search something, it would be 25 pages in before you could find it, because anything that meant anything that might hurt the Democrats at all was completely wiped. They wouldn't let you find anything. But we're finding out that all that stuff was true. All of it was true. And that what's the guy's name again that owns Facebook? Zuckerberg.
Mm-hmm.
He testified, and he admitted that they've told him, if you don't quash this there, you're going to be sorry, because we're not going to let you stay afloat, basically. And after what happened to Parler, they showed that, if we don't want you around, we'll get rid of you. And they did it. They did say Parler. They snipped their balls right off. I loved Parler. I was on there all the time, like I am right now on X. I was on Parler, and I liked the people that I met over there. It was a great app. But as soon as they bent over for Google and what was it, Amazon, whoever else was after them, it was over. And the numbers went. And Dan Bongino was one of the investors in that. I don't know who else, but it was pretty decent. I really, really liked it. And now I like Truth Social. It's okay, but it's no X. I mean, X has everything, so far. And that's why I really like it. And except the bots and the fact that you can't really block anyone, because they can still come and take pictures off of your profile and everything. I mean, they say, well, they can't remark. And I go, but you can just go snap.
Yep.
Right on your phone and take pictures right off of someone else's profile, because they can see all your shit. And I just think that's terrible that Elon's doing that. I hope he ends up changing that. But yes, I did. Jeremy, I did.
I've got it, Jeremy. I haven't had a response from Discord yet. We're stuck in waiting.
So just have to be patient. I know that's hard when you're young, but when you get older, you get patient, because you realize that the clock is ticking and your time is running out. When you're young, you think your time is never going to end, but it does. Okay, well, let's see. What was the next thing I wanted to bring up? Okay, here's another thing I thought was pretty interesting because, I like to share stuff that a lot of other people aren't talking about. Really, it's not wide open because everybody's talking about that, over there. So I like to talk about other things that a lot of people aren't talking about. But I thought this was interesting, and it shows me that RFK meant business when he said what he wanted to do, and he's going at it. He's doing the best he can. He's constantly, his whole cabinet is constantly get up from morning till dusk, and they are go. They're constantly doing their jobs, and I'm really proud of all of them. They're going to be so worn out after 4 years, but I'm really proud of them. It says RFK just announced that the latest autism rates in 8-year-old children, 1 in 36 have autism, 1 in 20 boys have autism, 1 in 2.5 boys in California have autism. California has the strictest vaccination laws in the country. Make of that what you will. But I wanted to share this interview with him. It's really, really good.
I'm going to go over some of the key numbers from the ADDM report. Overall, the autism is increasing in prevalence at an alarming rate. The study tests 8-year-olds who were born in 2014. And by the way, these studies are 2 years later than they should be. And one of the things that we're going to do as we move this function to the Administration for a Healthy America, to the Chronic Disease Division, the new Chronic Disease Division, is we are going to have updated real-time data so that people can look at this, so Americans can understand what is happening with chronic disease in this country in real time, and not have to wait 2 years to react. We don't wait 2 years to react to a measles epidemic, and we should not, or any kind of infectious disease. We shouldn't have to do that for diabetes or autism. The ASD prevalence rate in 8-year-olds is now 1 in 31. Shocking. There's an extreme risk for boys. Overall, the risk for boys of getting an autism diagnosis in this country is now 1 in 20. And as high in California, which has the best data collection. So it probably also reflects the national trend, 1 in 12.5 boys. This is part of an unrelenting upward trend. The prevalence 2 years ago was 1 in 36. Since the first ADDM report in 1990, which was 1992 births, autism has increased by a factor of 4.8. That's 480%, I believe. The first ADDM survey was 22 years ago when prevalence was 1 in 150 children. In all the core states, the trend is consistently upward, and most cases now are severe. So about 25% of the kids who are diagnosed with autism are nonverbal, non-toilet trained, and have other stereotypical features, head banging, tactile and light sensitivities, stimming, toe walking, etc. One of the things that I think that we need to move away from today is this ideology that the autism diagnosis, that the autism prevalence increases, the relentless increases, are simply artifacts of better diagnoses, better recognition, or changing diagnostic criteria. If you look at Table 3 of the ADDM report, it's clear that the rates are real, that they are increasing in the last 10 years, which is the beginning with the first one. Year by year, there is a steady, relentless increase. I want to, because this this epidemic denial has become a feature in the mainstream media, and it's based on an industry canard. And obviously, there are people who don't want us to look at environmental exposures. And so I want to just read you some of the little excerpts from some of the older studies. The baseline for autism in this country was established with the biggest, largest epidemiological study in history, a study of all 900,000 children in the state of Wisconsin, children under the age of 12. They found 0.7 children had autism in every 10,000. That's less than 1 in 10,000. Today we're at 1 in 31. That study also confirmed the 4-to-1 male to female ratio. There were at that time just over 60 children in Wisconsin with autism. And today it's around 20,000. In 1987, there was another exhaustive study, a peer-reviewed study in North Dakota, set out to count every child in the state with a pervasive developmental disorder, including autism. That study meticulously combed through every record, every diagnosis, and he even conducted in-person assessments of the entire population of 180,000 children under 18. The autism rate they found was 3.3 per 10,000. So that's in line with the 1 in 10,000 that was found in Wisconsin 17 years earlier. For context, today, the last number of 1 in 36 is 83 times higher. In 1987, out of every 1 million kids, 330 were diagnosed with autism. Today, there are 27,777 for every million. If you accept the epidemic deniers narrative, you have to believe that researchers in North Dakota missed 98.8% of the children with autism. That thousands of profoundly disabled children were somehow invisible to doctors, teachers, parents, and even their own study. The same researchers who followed the original cohort for 12 years to double check their number, they went back in 2000 and found that they had missed exactly 1 child.
Jesus, this is scary.
Doctors and therapists in the past were not stupid. They weren't missing all these cases. The epidemic is real. Between 1959 and 1965, researchers from 14 hospitals associated with major universities undertook the National Collaborative Perinatal Project, tracking 30,000 children from birth to age 8. This was no half-baked survey-based analysis. The study conducted 9 separate screenings covering neurology, psychology, speech, language, hearing, and visual function. Every developmental quirk, anomaly, and disorder was logged with painstaking detail. Autism, a condition characterized by profound impairments in social communication and behavior, would have stood out like a neon sign. There were 14 cases. That's 4.7 per 10,000. So we know what the historic numbers are, and we know what the numbers are today. And it's time for everybody to stop attributing this to this ideology of epidemic denial. In 2009, the California State Legislature charged the Mind Institute at UC Davis with because this myth was already becoming pervasive, the myth of epidemic denial, was already becoming pervasive in the mainstream media, the California legislature directed the Mind Institute at UC Davis to answer the question. And Irva Hertz-Pichotto is a highly esteemed, revered scientist, neurology, and epidemiologist, came back with a definitive answer. The epidemic is real. Only a very, very small portion of it can be changed to can be charged to better recognition or better diagnostic criteria. I want to say a couple of other things. There are many, many other studies that affirm this. And
yeah, the thing is, when he decided to run for president, okay, and Trump talked to him and told him that this would be the job that he would get, would be for the Health and Human Services position, because he told, and in a couple of interviews, that he had a dream, basically, that God needed him to help save the kids, basically, and get us healthy again, basically. So when he told Trump that's what he wanted to do, and Trump said, I'm going to put you in that position and give you the opportunity to do it, that's why he decided to join Trump's team. And as you can tell, he is doing it, because he really does care about what he's doing. And that's why when all the people were whining, complaining about his wife being a liberal and all these other different things about his family and stuff, I'm like, the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're a liberal. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're, whatever you are, independent or conservative, or down the middle, whatever. As long as you have two people that both want the same outcome of something, okay? It's just like a marriage. You both want something. You both work together to achieve that goal. You know, you even though you put all the other things aside, you focus on the one thing you both agree on, and you work towards it. And what is it that most of us want? We want to have a healthy life. We want our kids to be healthy. Okay, we want to be able to get a job and pay our own bills and have the government stay out of our lives and let us live our lives the way we see fit. You know, that's why we have different states. See, our forefathers even thought that way. You know, we have different states. Our state should be able to pick and choose the way we want to run it, and your state should be able to do the same thing. I don't agree with the way California does things. They're way too, they've got so many rules and regulations on everything, but yet they have, it's just like Chicago. Chicago is one of the strictest gun cities in the United States, yet they still have more people shot than any other state or any other big city. It just tells you that a person that's a legal person that has a gun, who goes through training, does all the things they're supposed to, they're not the ones committing the crimes, right? It's the illegal people that aren't supposed to have guns and the people that are breaking the law. They don't care about rules. See, and that's what it seems to be so hard to get people on the opposite side of the aisle from me to understand that criminals don't follow laws. Okay. So you can have millions and millions of laws on the books, but you're still going to have crime because criminals break the law. To me, that's common sense. Yet they don't want to put people in prison. They don't want to prosecute these people. They just let them go into a store as long as they only steal $900. But I'm standing in line to get my little tube of lipstick and some lotion, and I have to pay.
You're a hater. You're a hater, Janet. You're not helping us out. You're not an ally. You're not doing the right thing. Janet, stop being a hater.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Sorry.
It's really sad. It's really sad that where we are, the people working so hard to try to just have a normal environment for their family, and we're the ones being told we're wrong all the time. It's like, why are we wrong? Because we want our kids to be healthy, or want to know why so many kids are sick, or why so many kids are getting leukemia, why are so many kids getting progeria or Down syndrome, all these different things that are happening. There's a reason for it, you know, But if we don't have real studies where it's transparent and we can see what happens, just like what happened when those, like I was talking about 4 or 5 times on different shows about the videos that came out that were leaked showing when Fauci had that one laboratory full of beagles, like 25 beagles.
Wait, what part of like the Chinese, the CCP was walking around welding people in their apartments after they found out they were
Yeah, but
part
that
of the
wasn't in America,
infection?
so Americans didn't give a shit. See, that's the sad truth. But when dogs were being injected with the COVID vaccine or whatever vaccines that they were testing in those laboratories, and they all died, and then the video comes out and everybody's like, "Oh, that's fake. That's fake news. That's not real," you know. We
No,
weren't allowed to
because
talk about it.
we didn't say that was fake. Okay, first off, when we found out that Fauci was tied to it, obviously, like warning bells went off for you and for me,
Yeah.
and we knew that was real.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Shanji says people who were welded in their apartments were burned alive in a fire in China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that. The reason you and I saw it is because we still have some freedoms in our country to where we can still find things and watch it on the internet without the government turning off the internet to our homes, that type of stuff. Now, in other countries, you can get arrested for saying that you don't agree with someone on the internet. It's just that bad. And I don't want that to ever happen in my country. And that's
I
why
I like England. I really do. I think it's hilarious that you now got to have a license to meme.
Yeah, I don't know. All of this stuff is just ridiculous. I just don't understand any of it.
You guys got some butter knives over there? Butter knives are a little bit of contraband, don't you?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that we have that they'll never have.
They'll never have again. Why? Because they let the sand people take over, and nothing good ever happens once that happens. Mm-hmm. Oh no, Bruce is being a racist. I don't give a fuck. I've made my thoughts on Muhammad and Islam known for many, many years. And, if Dearborn wasn't a shithole in America, we could point to it and say, see, you're not that bad. But no, Dearborn's basically a shithole. Is it mostly clean? Yeah, for the most part. But you have to deal with the prayer call and the fact that if you're not of that culture, you're not going to be treated well. The people in this world that are the most oppressed by capital crimes, the biggest group of victims in the world today is a modern Muslim. And who is the biggest perpetrator of capital crimes in the world today is a modern Muslim. Okay. If you are a Muslim, your chances of being involved in a capital crime are higher than any other demographic. Even Black Americans, even school kids in America, you are probably going to have problems because you are too much Muslim or you are not Muslim enough. And for that to eventually ever go away, that shit-stained religion called Islam will need to go through a reformation, and they will need to figure out how can they make themselves not be so 680. And that's the biggest problem with Islam. Unfortunately for them, nobody wants to do that. And Muhammad had a bunch of shitty kids, which is why there's 3 main branches of Islam, a bunch of little smaller, shittier ones. But that's a tale for another day. And I just have to say that if you can avoid ever having to be in Dearborn, don't ever be in Dearborn.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the state of Michigan. They have to.
I mean, Michigan and Minnesota both are
Minnesota, yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, the cities are overrunning the rest of the states, and that's happening in Texas right now.
It's happening everywhere right now, not just Texas. I know it's your favorite thing to say because I live here.
No, it's not just that. I have relatives that live there, but I've slowly seen the liberal cities get bigger and bigger and bigger, and get away with so much shit.
We have our arms open for all these idiot immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
They're just wanting a place to live with their families. Don't you dare be a bigot, Janet. Don't you dare talk to people about how these mysterious tattoos got on a guy's knuckles and possibly could signify him being part of a major cartel operation.
No,
How
it's
dare
pathetic.
you?
It is. All of it's pathetic. But here's another article that I thought was pretty, or another video I thought was pretty interesting. It says, you can't hide the dead bodies. Edward Dowd on COVID jabs. It says, insurance CEO reveals that a 40% excess mortality for ages 25 to 64. So you just heard the numbers that our Health and Human Services person that's in charge of that was just giving. Okay.
What was the previous Health and Human Services person like? Were they okay? Were they nice?
I don't remember them.
Do you remember that thing?
Mm-mm.
It wore an admiral's outfit.
Oh, that's right.
It said it was a female.
Yeah. But the thing is that something is happening. And the sad truth is that when these parents are no longer there to take care of these kids, someone's going to have to. Okay. These are kids that need, some of the ones he was talking about, that need constant care, that can't feed themselves. They can't, they're very aggressive, they, are hard to handle children, and one day will be an adult that's hard to handle. So somebody's going to take care of them, and it's going to be on us, because we're going to have a whole generation with numbers through the wazoo with autism and other disabilities due to whatever our environment or whatever that they've been in. So we have got to find out what's wrong and how we can fix it before it's so far out that we can't do anything about it. But I wanted to get everybody to watch this, because I think it's pretty interesting.
Before we go into this, Hardwick has something.
Yeah. Oh, he does.
One thing
the chat.
I've long wondered about autism rates is whether they are actually rising or at the same actual rate, but being diagnosed at a greater rate due to advancing diagnostic techniques, or maybe they're just the catalyst, because you can't say, well, he has shitty teachers, and so we can't blame the tenured teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We have to find a boogeyman. Can't say that either.
I agree with him. I do believe the numbers are higher. They may not be as high as some states say it is, but the thing is that until we find out why these kids are being diagnosed and what it is, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a learning disability, maybe it's not even autism on some of these kids. Maybe it's totally something else. Maybe it's ADHD or something else. You see what I'm saying? So, but the thing is, now we have somebody that's in there that can try to get to the bottom of it and try to find out what it is and what's causing these changes. So it might not be as high as what some of these numbers are. And you're right. It might be because they didn't take numbers, just like what we've seen with this whole thing with the COVID and the injuries for the vaccines, things like that. We don't know. We don't have enough data yet, or enough people working on it that we can trust to give us the specific numbers and what's really happening. Or is all the rise in cancers and heart attacks and strokes and some of the other problems, is it related? What is it related to? Is it because they had COVID, or is it because they got the shots, or is it because of something else in the environment? We don't know, but it's nice to know right now we have somebody that actually cares and is trying to do whatever they can to find out the facts about why we have all these things. It seems like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I feel better to know that something's being done, because one day it's not going to be us anymore. None of us adults are going to even be here. They're going to be all new young people that are going to be growing older and taking over. It's not
Good luck, fuckers.
So hopefully we have some decent information that we can pass on to the next generation and their generation after that to help them, so that this kind of stuff doesn't happen again, or that we can fix it and get past this. I don't know, but we'll have to just wait and see. But I'm hoping that we learn something from our new Health and Human Services representative, or whatever, chairman, or whatever. Is that what they call them?
I have no idea. The director of Health
Excess
and Human
deaths. We wrote methodology papers on how we calculate them. We 3 different methods. We prefer the second method. These can be compared to the actuarial tables from the insurance industry, which saw similar excess death in their group life policy. So these excess deaths are undeniable. What is going on currently is certain governments are now changing how they calculate these numbers. The ONS just announced a change to the calculation methodology for their excess death number, which reduces obviously the excess deaths because they like that result better. We suspected that might happen, so that's why we wrote our.
Well, the thing is, what scares me about this insurance, this whole aspect with the insurance companies coming up with these higher totals is what happens when they decide, well, we just can't afford to pay all these families who've losing family members, or that family members are so sick, they're in the hospital every single day of the year, pretty much, year after year after year, that we can't afford to pay for it anymore. So they start closing businesses. They start closing down, and who's going to pay the bills? You know, is every person that's got somebody that's sick going to lose their homes and stuff like that simply because now they don't have an insurance company to help pay their bills? You know, what is going to happen? And we need to get the stuff out so we can find out what is in the future for us. A lot of young families, we already have a huge drop in marriages and children being born because of since COVID. Okay, so we're having a shrinkage in population, and you know, something's got to be. We got to find a happy middle so that we can get back to a normal routine and understand what the future might hold for everyone. You know what I mean? And we won't until we can put a lid on this and figure out, you know, how we're going to pay for all this. You know, is every single family going to lose their home pretty much and all be relying on the government? You know, it's just
that's the plan.
I don't want that to happen. Yeah, but I don't want that to happen. I want to see everybody be able to have their own homes.
I don't think anybody wants to be a ward of the state. Hey, chat, you guys want to be part of the state wards? You want to be property of the state? You people in California, do you want Daddy Newsom to make your decisions for you?
Apparently they do. California has constantly voted for more and more regulation, more and more rules. I mean, you can't even put a can in a garbage bag in the wrong box. If you do, you can get a fine. So, I mean, they're very, very strict.
I've thought for many years that California is just full of AI bots that are programmed by Democrat socialists or, you know, just communists, as I call them, stinking commies. Hi, Crafting Gamer. How you doing, bud? He says, I'm a ward of the state. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it. And hi, all.
Wow. Thank you for stopping.
One of the ways you can do that is you have to become ridiculously profitable to where you can display a necessity not requiring the state in your life. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I think that might be a situation, and I'm not happy about it.
But let me finish this real quick. Go ahead and get this out of the way.
Our methodology papers and published them in September of 2022. And the actuarial tables that the insurance companies use haven't changed. So excess deaths are continuing. The insurance companies are seeing the same excess mortality, especially in the working age population. So these deaths are undeniable. This is, you can't hide the dead bodies, unfortunately.
So again, you publish all your information on your website. Was it One America? Was that the insurance company that's kind of the first revelation of this? Was an insurance company out of Indiana?
One America, CEO Scott Davison in a Chamber of Commerce meeting revealed that he had seen 40% excess mortality in the millennial age group, 25 through 44, and even as high, actually for 25 through 64. And he said that's 10% increase would be once in a 200-year flood or a 3 standard deviation event. 40% was off the charts, just off the charts.
And we haven't really heard anything since that point in time, other than from people like you. What? Because we tried helping you get insurance data, and we were just pretty well blocked. No, the insurance companies, they did not want to cooperate with us and provide us their information. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so what they're doing is, unfortunately, there's still a lot of controversy in the insurance industry where a lot of people don't even want to look at the vaccine issue. A lot of these CEOs mandated, got the jab themselves, who are in a state of denial. They have raised prices in group life policy, so the losses are less now. Losses will be coming in whole life policies due to a Byzantine accounting dynamic. So we expect to see reserves taken once they lower their long-term mortality assumptions and or raise their long-term mortality assumptions, I should say. And we'll see losses start running through their P&Ls this year and next. With it, I have whistleblowers, and there's been discussions at board level meetings about the continued excess mortality, and they dance around every issue except the vaccine. Not mentioned.
So again, you talked about an awful lot of numbers, but my big takeaway is that what you found out is in working age population, there was just an extraordinary increase in excess deaths and disabilities starting in 2021, not 2020 during the pandemic before we had a vaccine, but after the vaccine rollout. I mean, is that pretty much your
that's correct, and that's my thesis as to why the vaccine caused. There was a huge mix shift from old to young starting in 21. Disabilities weren't apparent in 2020. And if you look at the disability numbers and you can drill down into them, the rate of change for the employed in our country in disabilities between 2021 and 2023 was 38%. So that was a rate of change increase of 38% versus the general U.S. population, which has been 9%, and not in labor force, only 4%.
So I encourage everybody to go look at his data, and it's indisputable, basically. So thank you, Mr. Dowd.
Thank you.
Wow, that's really scary. 40% rise in basically unnatural deaths between the ages of 22 to 64 after 2020. That is, it's hard to dispute that, isn't it? And that's coming from a company that makes their living off of insuring people. So I'm guaranteed their numbers are really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Like Hardwicki was talking about earlier about the skewed numbers that might be, you know, from the different states when it comes to autism, because they could be misdiagnosed. I mean, how many times do you know friends or family that went to the doctor and they were diagnosed with some virus and ended up being something else, you know, things like that. The misdiagnosis happens quite often because, you know, unless you're, you know, a genius or whatever as a doctor, you can't automatically know what's wrong with everyone, even with multiple tests, you know, because it could be a couple of things they might have. I don't know. I'm just saying, when it comes to an insurance company, that's their living, you know, and they want to be able to outthink people's injuries or deaths and things like that. And you don't expect when you sign a 21-year-old up for insurance, a 20 years policy or whatever, to die before they're, you know, 70 years old. I mean, it's just not that common, but it sure is getting way more common now. So it's really sad and scary, but I guess that's where we're at right now. The next thing I wanted to talk about was what was released today with the whole government website about COVID. Did you see that yet? Bruce, are you there? Well, I guess he had to step away for a second, but I want to share this because I was freaking out when this morning when I first found out about this, because this is an actual, I'm going to share this with everybody in the chat. So we'll be there later on if you want to come check it out. It's the actual whitehouse.gov website. And it's all about what's going on with COVID once the Independence Council went through all the information. They are now releasing it. It has names attached. There's like 557 pages. And I just put it in there. So all of you can go and click on that. I would bookmark it if I were you. I already downloaded the PDF file or whatever, so that I can read through a whole thing. And I've read some of it. I didn't get to read as much as I wanted because, man, it's a lot of information in here. But what's so interesting about it is that it's got names on it of people that and who they believe was involved in the different aspects of it. So, they have it numbered and it's laid out really, really well. It says, 1, the virus possesses a biological characteristic that is not found in nature. So they're saying it was genetically modified, basically. Altered to do whatever they wanted it to do. Data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to previous pandemics where there were multiple spillover events. It's pretty spooky shit. But this is done, if you read it, it says that this was done by, I think this is the special committee that they had. Hold on, let me go down here and see if it's down here. Yeah, House Oversight Report. So they all the people they had picked out in wasn't it 2024 when they started doing it? Bruce? Or not? I think it was in 2024 that they got a whole group. So it was under the Biden administration when they first started. It says Wuhan is the home in China's foremost SARS research lab, which has a history of conducting gain-of-function research, gene altering and organism supercharging, inadequate biosafety levels. Okay, this is all what they found. This is factual stuff because they have evidence to back all this up, or they wouldn't have put this out. Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers were sick with COVID-like symptoms in the fall of 2019, months before COVID was discovered at the wet market. By nearly all measures of science, if there was evidence of a natural origin, it would have already surfaced, but it hasn't. So they're saying that this was a leak, basically.
An intentional leak.
Yeah, an intentional.
This was an act of war.
Yeah, basically, what they have now is millions of people died worldwide because of this. So once they start naming names and get the people out there of who's responsible, I think they should be held accountable, and not just by us in America, which I care about. But anyone worldwide that had anything to do with this pandemic and killing millions of people should be held accountable. No different than what happened with the gas chambers and people responsible for that type of stuff. That's basically what this is like. And it's big. It's huge. And people want justice. Worldwide people have lost loved ones, family members, co-workers, themselves that were, trying to recover from having this virus affect their lives. So I'm hoping that they do this. But this is what's so cool. It says that this whole thing. It says then this publication that came out for SARS-CoV-2, which was used repeatedly by public health officials at the media to discredit the lab leak story, was prompted by Dr. Fauci to push the preferred narrative that COVID-19 originated in nature. So they mention him by name in this. So they have a shit ton of evidence against him. I can't wait to see somebody go to prison for this mess. A lab-related incident involving gain-of-function research is the most likely the origin of COVID-19. Current government mechanisms for overseeing this dangerous gain-of-function research are incomplete, severely convoluted, and lack global accuracy. It says EcoHealth, under the leadership of Dr. Peter Daszak, is that how you say his name?
I think so.
Okay, used U.S. taxpayer dollars to facilitate dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, after the select subcommittee released evidence of EcoHealth violating the terms of its National Institute of Health grant. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services commenced official debarment proceedings and suspended all funding to EcoHealth. So basically, they said that they were closing this down, but apparently, I guess they decided to go do whatever anyways. Is that what this is basically saying?
Mm-hmm.
It says new evidence also shows that the Department of Justice has opened an investigation into the EcoHealth's pandemic era activities. But remember when supposedly we went into Russia went into Ukraine right off the bat, and he came out and said that there were 6 laboratories, biolabs that he was going to.
Mm-hmm.
He strategically went to 6 labs because he could have just carpet bombed or whatever he wanted, but he didn't. They went to the nuclear power plant and then 6 labs and took stuff. So whatever they took or burned or whatever it was, they saw what was in there. They knew that something was there that they did not want risking coming to their country. So they felt threatened by this, just like we felt threatened with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Remember that? When we found out Russia had missiles in Cuba, basically, we said, hell no, that's too close for comfort. They can't have it there. So we have a right to defend ourselves and our borders. And so does Russia. I'm not saying that, and it was Russia's the ones that was working with Cuba to put their missiles on their base. And we said no. So, Russia had every right to defend themselves from this type of bullshit. But the thing is, when you're doing Frankenstein work like this, how do you expect it sooner or later not to get out when you have real people involved? You know what I mean? So all of this is coming out. I recommend that you read it. I put it in the chat. I recommend that when you have time or get multiple people, get your friends, and all of you download this and all take turns, and you get the first 10 pages, you get the next 10 pages, you get like that, and everybody read about it so that you can have a space or a get together on Discord or wherever you hang out and talk about what is in this. And hopefully, it's just like they said, our Department of Justice is going to prosecute some people. Now, this also, I guess, now will be in the hands of the other countries that were affected. So who knows what their steps will be on getting justice for all the people they lost. And remember, when this happened, that's when I first started bitching about how we weren't self-sufficient enough to have our own masks and our own gloves. And I remember the MyPillow guy had to shut down his pillow factories and open them up to make masks and gloves so that we'd have enough because there was so many sick people. So we seemed like we did pretty well, considering we don't even make diabetic medicine here anymore. We don't make EpiPens here. We just lots of medications that we need that we don't even make here anymore.
I heard some really good news today.
You did what?
One of the gaming companies I follow, actually 2 bits of good gaming news. One, Steve Jackson Games is on fire. Steve Jackson Games made a post a few years back on their blog saying how much they hated MAGA and they didn't want anything to do with Trumpers and blah, 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 blah. And ever since then, they've kind of gotten that go woke, go broke shit. And they hired some lady out of, I think it's Dork Paint or something like that. Meredith something or other. But she was the CEO of the company, and she wasn't really big in the paint world. I've never heard of her paint. I used tons of paint. I used lots of paint. And I've never heard of her company. And Meredith, the CEO of Steve Jackson Games, just said, "Oh, I'm done." And she went back to her old company to do more paint stuff again. And it just looks really weird. She's got an IMDb. She's got a bunch of social media presence. and it looks like she's just going back to where she feels more comfortable ruining a company or whatever. And that's all she really did for Steve Jackson Games. She spent millions of dollars to no avail, and the company is still a dumpster fire. So happy day. The other thing is your neighbors.
Yeah.
Your neighbors at Troll Lord Games.
Do you want me to share that?
I'm getting ready to just put up their main web page.
Okay.
And these guys are kind of close to where Janet's at, not really so close to me, but they make a really neat 3rd edition, real basic edition game called Castles and Crusades. And they make some wonderful stuff. They actually got the Gygax family to help them out and design some things back before he passed away in 2008. They got their own game called Castles and Crusades. They have the World of A-Ride. They're doing the the Barsoom series. So those of you like John Carter of Mars, you be involved with that. They do amazing adventures. It's just a lot of fun. And Troll Lord, they've got a good social media presence too, but they're getting ready to put up a print shop in Arkansas.
Oh, really?
Yep. And they're going to be able to print off full books with hardcovers on them. They have a
can you share that link in the
yeah, it's in your private chat.
Oh, it is? Okay. I was gonna say because I wanna
but
that's
these guys are really good for the hobby people like myself. Also, if you are into the vet community, you know them because they have been big on vets, and they do everything they can to help out veteran gamers. They throw you discounts, they throw you the free links, they throw you everything they can to make sure that you have a way to play. And that's what they want. They don't really give a shit about your politics. Don't ever bring their politics to their Discord or their Twitter. You want to talk to them about how the game you got? They'll sit and they'll chat with you. Start talking politics. Man,
they have a Discord?
They do have a Discord.
Do you have the link for that or not?
No.
Okay.
Ever since Discord kind of turned into a dumpster fire for me, I don't care about Discord. Like, you've proved to me that you can't fucking keep your shit straight. So die. And that's basically how I feel. I don't like Discord. I want it to perish I
like it. And
I liked it until somebody did something and hacked the shit out of my Discord. But it's not Troll Lord's fault. It's Discord's fault, and their security is ass.
Yeah. Well, somebody was asleep at the wheel, but that doesn't mean the whole company should collapse because some dum-dum works for them.
Yeah.
You know.
But the entire thing about these guys is that they have wonderful games. You've got.
Are these like manuals so you can have your own games at home?
Yeah.
Like yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a genius.
It's a very simple game. Basically, just uses D20 and like whatever damage die you need. But their handbook for the game, the player's handbook, it's a free PDF download. Literally, it's a free PDF download. Let me see if I can find that because here it is. So this is going in your private chat.
Okay.
You want to check out Castles and Crusades for free? Janet will pop it up on channel there for you. They have amazing.
I had a couple of young people, I think they're in their 20s, that were asking questions about wanting to check it out. You know, check out DD or whatever what do you call this? If it's not DD, what would you call it?
I just call it the game.
Okay, because I would call it DD, because when people ask me what I'm playing, I'm saying, well, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, because people that don't play this, that's what they
recognize that. Yes,
yeah,
it's the most popular one out there.
like the movie. Because some of my spells on the one game where people were asking me constantly, what are you guys doing? What's happening? They're trying to understand what we're doing because they're interested. So you're getting more people, and they actually come and watch, trying to understand what's going on.
I think my low level game is so easy to follow along because it's mainly back and forth between you, me, crafting, and Nerdy Ogre and Six Nations.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is so easy to run for me because it's been in my skull for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
But it's one of those really nice games that I think that's easily accessible. James from DM James's YouTube, he liked listening to us. He had an easy time listening. He said the players sound like they knew exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little thing on Troll Lord Games. Everybody here at Troll Lord is aware of the sacrifices of men and women of the armed forces and their families make in order to safeguard and preserve the freedoms guaranteed to all U.S. citizens by the Constitution of the United States. Because of this, our own close ties to vets, our CEO, Stephen Chenault, is a veteran, as is his brother, David Chenault.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a long-standing policy offering deep discounts to vets and their families for any TLG product, as well as support for soldiers in theaters of operation. Allow us to offer all veterans a heartfelt thank you for sacrifice and toil, and furthermore, kindly thank you to your families for enduring your absence. If you're serving or have served any of the 5 branches, U.S. military or reserve or National Guard components, you get a 50% discount for most purchases you make on a website, except for special items we can't discount.
Mm-hmm.
Contact us at orders at Troll Lord for more information. And if somebody's in a theater of ops, if you're there at the FOB and you want anything shipped, they will cover all shipping costs. Okay? So whenever I say, like, this is a band of people that they truly love the country, they love the guys that safeguard it. This is
well, the games that they have, what kind of games are they? I mean, are they like sci-fi games, or are they
sci-fi? Yeah. Let me go back over here. They've got Amazing Adventures, which is kind of like a default whatever game it may be. They've got a very pulpy game called Barsoom, which is based off the John Carter of Mars series.
Yeah.
They've got fiction books. They've got, of course, Castles and Crusades, which Player's Handbook, Monsters and Treasure Guide, Castle Keeper's Guide. And I gave you the information for the Player's Handbooks. And 12 years in continuous publication, no new editions. It's the last game you ever need. You could buy it, the physical copies, or you can just use the PDF. I already gave you the PDF. Same thing as in PDF as in the print version.
Yeah.
The new version has newer art. That's it. If you like that, that's great. Support them. Give them money. Then they have a Monsters and Treasure book, and then they have a Keeper's Guide. That's what the guy that runs a game will need. But this is a great game system. It's easy and simple to play.
Yeah, and if you check this out, this website, and you're interested in it, and you think it's a lot of fun, and you might want to start doing it at your house, well, then you should get a hold of Bruce and let him give you a tour of all his little handmade creatures that he's painted: dragons, trolls, goblins.
I haven't painted much today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you've got shelves and shelves and shelves of them, and maybe he'll sell you some for you to run an actual tabletop game at your house.
I sold a few last week.
It's fun when you have, because when we play, and I'm a new player, I haven't been playing very long. He has it all set out on a grid tablet, basically, and he has our characters, and he moves them around, and he brings in the bad guys, and so we have something to visually think about as we're thinking about our imagination for the realm around us. and it's really fun. It really is. It's not that much different than actually playing a video game, except it's in more of in your imagination of what's going to happen. It doesn't just play out for you, because it's not a game like that. And my worst enemy is my dice, because when I roll, I roll like crap. If I have to roll high, I don't. If I'm supposed to roll low, I do. I don't. I roll high. So it's like I'm always rolling the opposite of what I need. So, oh well. That's bad luck.
And they do have another game that they don't have listed on their shelf, which I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know. But they have a sci-fi game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called the Starship Warden.
Oh, so you got it?
Yeah, I've got it. Troll Lord Games.
Yeah.
But this is a very thick fucking tome where you are in kind of like a dream at first, and then you wake up and you're on the ship and you're like, who the fuck am I? And the DM has to kind of tell you, kind of give you hints as to what you're wearing and who you are, what your name badge says, and what gear you've got in your gear locker once you get out of your little cryo tube. And why are you in a colony ship? And it's a multi-level, very large, like 10, 15-mile long colony ship that you're on with different environments, different levels, and you got to figure things out.
So you're in a spaceship flying in space, but you're playing a game.
Yeah. Remember that movie Pandorum we watched?
Yeah, it was fun. It's like that.
It's a lot
I
like
wanted
that.
to share this real quick. This is something that one of my fans made for me. It's a dice tower. So you put your dice.
Did you do this again?
No, this is the one he did for me. And it's got the hey, you guys on the front. I love this. I just think it's great. And I just take my dice and I roll them in here. See, and they come out at the bottom, and then I see what my numbers are. But I love it. It's so much fun. I look forward to it every week. It's relaxing for me. I don't watch football. I don't watch a lot of sports or anything like that. And so I play this. And I've always wanted to play since I was a little girl. And I was a military kid. So we moved every 2 years. And nobody wanted me to play on the teams that I tried to get to go on, because they said, we'll help you get your character going, then you're going to leave us. So I was like, well, but I'd like to watch them. I got to watch lots of my friends play, and I always thought it was so fun and exciting. And then when that TV show came out, Stranger Things, I was like, oh, I'd love to play, but I didn't know anybody. And then I met Bruce. So, and they invited me to play. So I've been playing since, and I'm still trying to learn which dice, because I'm playing multiple games now. So, and they use different dice for different games. So it's a lot of work. But if you want
D100,
yeah,
D100, both of those D10s, they make a D100 together.
Mm-hmm.
Those will be your primary die tomorrow.
Yep. But I just want people to realize that it's fun. It's something that you can do, and you can play online. You see, I don't get to go to Bruce's house, but I play using the internet. Just like I'm sitting here watching, I watch him do this stuff on the table, and we talk amongst ourselves, and we roll our dice, and we play the game this way. It's just like sitting at the table, but from a distance. But it's fun. So hopefully you guys will join us tomorrow. What time are we going to start? At noon?
About noon. Well, we'll be live around 1 o'clock, but we'll be in the green room at noon.
Oh yeah, he's painted me a few things. Yeah, I've got some really cool stuff. He's awesome. So if you guys haven't followed Crafting Gamer, you should. He's really good artist. Because to me, that's art. That thing he made me, that's art. Even though it's used for dice and stuff, it takes time and effort to make things like that. And to me, it's like I got a living, working piece of art that I can use, and I get to use it every week, and I really love it, and I brag about it a lot, but it's nice.
And then, are you with family Sunday, or what's going on?
Nope.
Are you going to do anything special for Easter?
Nope. I don't have anything special besides just, being home.
Do you want to watch a movie called Kroll?
Yeah, we can do that if you want.
It's kind of Arthurian. It's kind of Arthurian fantasy and sci-fi together.
I know you showed me the preview, and it's like some parts of it I feel like I know, but then others I have no idea what it is. So I think I don't think I've seen it. I think I just saw the trailer before.
It's an old movie.
But the actors look familiar. You know what I mean?
Liam Neeson's in it again.
Yeah, I like Liam
like in Excalibur.
Mm-hmm. I loved him, and we did Rob Roy.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I remember
Rob Roy too.
Had that big blonde wig, and I did my lipstick, like this. It was fun. I love that dress. I can't wait to wear that dress again one of these days when we do something.
You look really good in it.
Yeah, it was fun. A Renaissance gown. Yeah, it's fun. But we
ought to try to convince Chris to be like, hey, let's all go to Bastrop, where they have the Texas Sherwood Forest, which is a Ren fair.
When do they usually have that? What time of year in the fall?
I play chess occasionally there, Hardwick. Not often, but I play it just to stay sharp. All right, the Sherwood Forest Fair. And here we are.
Okay, let me bring it up.
I'm waiting on the interwebs.
Well, I wonder why it didn't come up, but there it goes. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. He shared it before, but when is this new one going to start again?
From March 1st to April 20th. So it's getting ready to shut down. Shit.
It's already been going on.
Yeah.
What do? They just have people that come in their RVs and hang out and dress up.
They have guilds where people kind of like do joke raids on each other and shit. There's lots of sex. They do. I mean, there's lots of sex. I know.
Well, are they going to do it again this year? Later? Does it look at the rest of the page?
I don't think it's going on after. It's a springtime thing.
Oh.
Later on, they have one called TRF, but 150 shows a day in Central Pines section of Central Texas.
Big. So it's pretty
they have
big.
100 permanent buildings on 25 acres.
Mm-hmm.
During the spring fair, we have 150 shows per day by more than 40 different stage acts, with full contact jousting, falconry, fire juggling, knife throwing, 10 live bands, comedy, sword fighting, and a castle siege. Mm-hmm. Shows for kids, adults, and both. I missed it this year. I'm sorry. Damn it.
Well, what we're gonna have to do is bookmark it and do it next year.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that'll give you a chance to wash the dress.
Yeah, and we'll try to fix it to where we all get to go for 2 days or something.
Yeah.
At the same time. That'll be our meet and greet. That'll be fun.
It'd be a lot of fun. Let's get directions.
I love stuff like that.
All right, so Sherwood Forest Fair is right here. Here's 290. Those of you familiar with Texas, you know where you're at automatically. Wham! I'm good. I know where I'm at. I'm on 290. So here we are out of Austin. You take 290 through Manor, go through Elgin. Do not head towards Sayersville. Stay on 290, and it's right here.
Wow, it's really fixed up.
It is.
So I guess they have an RV park.
Mm-hmm.
And they have cabins you can rent and stuff.
Yep, cabins are available.
Well, can you share that link? Oh, is it already in the private chat?
Not yet. Hold on.
Because yeah, I'll have to save that so I can.
Might have to do this next year with all of us, I guess.
As I said, next year would be great because then we have time to plan for it.
Yeah.
And maybe you can get a couple of your haters that don't like the chat to go, and then get some of the chat people to show up, and they'll say, "You really are a real person." You know, see?
That'd be funny.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. And Bing sometimes wins. They've got a neat little thing where they show the Cappadocia in Turkey. They're showing the hot air balloons, which you really can't see much of them. There's like 5 or 10 of them. But
yeah.
Bing wins sometimes. They do sometimes have nice pictures. Okay, I'll turn it back over to you. Unless you want me to go on some of these tabs I've got open.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
All
for
right.
it. That was the last thing I had pulled up.
Dateline, April 18th, 2025. Tragic. Loving Alabama father and husband dies after deranged man with a hatchet savagely attacks him in Arizona. So, a loving Alabama father and husband has died following an incredibly vicious attack by a deranged psychopath in Arizona earlier this month. As Gateway Pundit previously reported, Jacob Couch and his wife Kirsten were sitting on a bus bench on the corner of 6th and Broadway in Tucson on the morning of April 5th. After vacation, they traveled by bus from California back home to Alabama, but decided to stop in Tucson first to explore the area. And shortly after sitting down, a man approached them and started yelling for some reason. Court records say Jacob, the father of 2 children, started arguing with the crazed man when tragedy struck. Police say the man, 25-year-old Tucson resident Daniel Michael, hit Jacob in the neck with what Christian described as a machete-type knife. Jacob started bleeding uncontrollably after being slashed in the neck. Jacob's sister-in-law, Erica Sims, revealed that the weapon cut the artery in the back of his neck in half. It went so deep it hit his skull. According to Cold TV, court documents reveal that police confronted Michael at his apartment 3 days later with the evidence. And documents also show that investigators discovered a hatchet matching the weapon used in the attack, as well as the clothes worn during the incident. Jacob was transported to Banner University Medical Center, where he was placed on life support in the ICU. His family held out little hope that he would survive the attack. Now, Jacob's family has confirmed that he passed away Thursday night after spending 2 weeks on life support. As K-Gun reports, Jacob's sister-in-law, Erica Sims, confirmed he died at 8:58 p.m. after his heart gave out. She also revealed to K-Gun 9 that he had developed pneumonia. The outlet notes Jacob's death came after the Tucson community held a prayer gathering Thursday at 7 p.m. outside of Banner University Medical Center, Tucson, for him. And Michael has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, according to Cold TV, and he's being held on a $1 million bond. Now that Jacob has died, state homicide charges are expected to be filed. Sad.
Yes, it is sad. It's terrible. It's just like that other tragic thing that happened at that track meet. The young man
I'm still in shock that entire set of circumstances is going on and still playing out. We're still watching the clown show for this playing out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough that we got that going on and we have this going on, or we have a deranged lunatic who's a community organizer attack a cop, get tased, and continue to attack the cop and get tased again.
I saw that. That was horrible. You could tell by the voice of the police officer that he was freaking
panicking his ass off.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was on drugs or something.
Well,
because he was shouting Jesus and stuff while he was trying to kill somebody. It just was scary.
It was very weird, and there's a lot of people out there that are drifting off of this, trying to make it a racial thing. It's not a racial thing. As much as your eyes would tell you, that's a
drug-related thing.
This is a This is a culture issue. This is a heart issue. This is not the fact that it's just a melanin count issue. That's not it. You have a lot of people of any spectrum that the majority of them are fine. Majority of them will go to work tomorrow. They will go to work Monday, and they will do things the right way, and they will try to put up with traffic, and they will try to do the right thing for their families, and they will try to make it to where they can save for a vacation or they can pay for their kids' college. And it doesn't matter what color they are going to be good people. You have a minority of people of any race, of any creed, which just suck. And they allow themselves to be manipulated by the voices that ask for violence. Do not believe the mainstream narrative. There is not a race war going on right now. I can't believe I have to say that. This doesn't compute to me. All of the things going on with the last week and a half, 2 weeks, where we are seeing the effects of a highly medicated society when nobody's prescribing the right drugs. We're seeing the effects of the society starting to unravel.
Yeah,
That's what I feel it is.
Everybody needs to just try to stay calm. If you see something, call 911 or whatever. But yeah, try to say just keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and don't let someone goat you into a fight when there's a way to leave, because they might be just trying to use you to start that war, like we were talking about. So don't let them use you for propaganda.
Do not.
Yeah. So I just shared the Friday Night Shit Show Gmail email. So if you have an idea or you want to be on the show or something like that, you want to talk about your channel or whatever, whatever's going on, or you have a topic that you think is important, send me an email. And, I try to respond as soon as I can whenever I try to check it every day or every other day at least, and try to keep up on it. But, if you have something you want to share with us, I appreciate it. You get send in the email, and make sure you subscribe to Bruce's channel, and follow him on Twitter. Where's your Twitter handle? Do you have that in here?
It's called Good Luck Idiots.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard to remember because I always have to look it up.
It's funny. When the bots attack me, they always say you should stick to reading. That's all they ever say. I love it. I get like 30 attacks a day. I got 30 bots attacking me a day. I have 10 hot crypto chicks. I've got, just way too much shit.
I get tons and tons of bot shit.
Yeah, between the bots and all the people trying to sell me crypto and NFTs. Somebody tried even quoting me a price on a super low deal if you want the Hawk2 meme chip, which I don't. I'm good.
Guess what? I just got followed by somebody on X. Their name is President Donald J. Trump. And then it says, as that their @ is Trump Musk Club.
I love it. I mean, the bots are out in force.
It says they have 1,800 followers, so that's a little bigger than what I think a bot would be. I'm sorry, my allergies are starting to get really bad.
Well, let me save your voice a bit.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. So Dateline, April 18th, 2025, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
This just in, D.C. Circuit Court halts Judge Boasberg's contempt order against Trump admin officials. What that means is the Court of Appeals on Friday temporarily halted Judge Boasberg's contempt order against the Trump admin officials. A 3-judge panel included Pillard, who was brought in with Obama, Katsas, which was brought in with Trump, and Rao, brought in with Trump. Pillard said they would not have issued the administrative stay ordered on the court's own motion. The district court's contempt-related order, entered on the 16th of April, be administratively stayed, being further order of the court. The purpose of the administrative stay is to give the court sufficient opportunity to consider the emergency motion for stay pending appeal or a writ of mandamus, and should not be construed in any way ruling on the merits of that motion, the appeals court says. Judge James Boasberg said Wednesday he found a probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt of court for defying his order to turn around planes carrying dangerous Venezuelan gang members. In a 46-page opinion, Judge Boasberg said the Trump administration showed willful defiance that amounts to criminal contempt. And Boasberg also threatened to appoint a prosecutor if Trump administration won't prosecute the criminal contempt. In the event that if the defendants don't choose to purge the contempt, the court will proceed to identify the individuals responsible for contumacious conduct by determining whose specific act or omission caused the noncompliance. And at the suggestion of the government in the last hearing, the court will begin by requiring declarations. And should those be unsatisfactory, the court will proceed to either the hearings with live witness testimony under oath or to depositions conducted by the plaintiffs. The next step would be for the court, pursuant to the federal rules of criminal procedure, to request that contempt be prosecuted by an attorney for the government. And if the government declines or the interest of justice requires, the court will appoint another attorney to prosecute the contempt, Judge Boasberg wrote. This tweet from Cheney. Boasberg grants the temporary restraining order to the TRO to stop the Trump administration from deporting thousands of Venezuelan nationals being believed to be members of Tren de Agua gang under the Alien Enemies Act. In an unsigned order earlier this month, the Supreme Court on Monday vacated Boasberg's orders, barring Trump's removals of Venezuelan gang members under the Alien Enemies Act. The High Court said Boasberg lacks jurisdiction. The High Court said Boasberg lacked jurisdiction. Amazing. I can't believe they actually did that. I would have thought they were just like, lay down and let Boasberg run rampant. The Supreme Court, however, said the administration must give reasonable notice for gang members to challenge their deportations in court. And earlier the month, Judge Boasberg signaled that he would hold Trump administration in contempt for violating his order, and they did not. So Boasberg threatened to hold the Trump officials in contempt for not bringing some of the world's most vicious killers, criminals, and rapists back to the United States. The D.C. Circuit Court said the appellees must respond by next Wednesday, and any reply is due by next Friday. This is by Christine Layla of the Gateway Pundit. Janet, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm dying.
Okay. Well, we've rattled for 2 hours.
Yeah, over 2 hours. So
I'd like to thank our good friend Ruben. Thank you for being here. We know that you're in a spot where you are not getting the best internet coverage. You're not being completely happy. You're kind of seeing a part of the states you cannot stand, and I'm sorry for you. It's a part of the states I like, and I know that is really, if I like something, be worried. So he needs to wrap up and go about his business. Janet, we will see you tomorrow at noon. And for the rest of the chat, please follow me on YouTube and on Twitter, X. I'm over there on X as Good Luck Idiots.
I don't have your I need your YouTube channel so I can put it in the chat.
My YouTube channel?
Yeah. Do you have it saved? Because I don't know what.
It's coming, Janet.
Oh, okay, good.
It's coming. It's simple. Don't worry.
I'm going to put my Rumble in here too.
You better put Rumble on there.
Yeah, I'm going to put my Rumble in the chat too, so that people can see me. I'm at Janet's Universe on Rumble, And I'm about to share Bruce's YouTube channel. Yeah, please click on him and follow him so that you can keep updates on when he does his gaming stuff. And if you decide to do a game, or you already do game, but you need some little figurines to play the games with, he's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, all different things, skeletons, tables, all kinds of stuff. I mean, just everything you think of to run
I'll
a
be
game.
working on this in the month of May.
Yeah,
This is going to be my May project because I love this figurine. This looks like a mecha skeleton. He's got some like machine parts on him. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play with
Really
this.
cool.
Grumpy, thank you for following me on Twitter, bud. We need to talk more actually. This little demoness, she's one of Reaper's new demons, the Queen of Hell. And I just made it like more. That's kind of. Will you please focus?
It was the bright light. That's why I think it was having a hard time.
So, yeah. We'll get these painted up and get you guys some photographs. But get in touch with me if you want stuff. I can sell you stuff. I can get stuff.
Yeah, he can help. He's got lots of good stuff, and all of it's been painted by him too. So it's a authentic, made with love type thing. So, anything else you want to say? Because tomorrow we're going to be playing on Bruce's channel, his game.
We'll mirror it over on hers if you want to watch it on Janet's and give her the video hours. Which I want everybody. If you are a member of Janet's fan base, if you love Janet, if you like Janet, if you want Janet to be your sister, then go watch tomorrow live with Janet and help her get her 1,000 or 4,000 hours or 6,000 hours, whatever.
You have to 4,000, but I might get 2,360 or something like that. And I keep dropping because every time I get taken down for 2 weeks, I don't get any views, even though people are watching them. It's just it doesn't add when you're.
Do me a favor, guys, and just like turn on her channel and just like find one of her playlists and press play.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, join us tomorrow while we're playing, and then Sunday, if you're not busy on Easter, you're bored, we're gonna watch. Was it Crawl?
Crawl.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Crawl, and then we're gonna talk about it afterward. So it'll be fun. Just hang out, enjoy ourselves. But yeah, everybody have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend. And thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And God bless America.
Good night, everyone.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasonable people of this great nation. God has blessed America, and together with President Trump, we will make America great again.